If I were to ask you to tell me about yourself, I think most people, including myself, would kind of go into interview mode. And what I mean by that is, well, I'm married, got 2.5 kids, I work at so-and-so, and I do insert title. And I think we've just gotten used to that. We love stories. We hear stories all the time, movies, TV shows, you name it, books, right? But we're not used to telling stories. We've gotten away from that because we've been entertained for so long that we no longer know how to tell stories. And we think we do. We know the basics to it. We don't put it into practice. Really, what you want to start thinking about if you want to tell your story, don't think of the big picture, right? So if you're 40 years old, don't think of it as, oh, I've got to tell my life story, the whole 40 years. Think of it in terms of a slice of memory, a moment in time. Think about an event, maybe a special occasion. So I'll give you an example. A little while back, my wife's hands started to hurt. Come to find out, she's got a little bit of carpal tunnel, arthritis, and who knows what else. So in order to relieve some of that pain, she got these braces. Well, she puts these braces on at night when you go to bed. And they're kind of big, kind of clunky. I kind of call them the Forrest Gump of braces. They kind of, they go over the wrist, and it's just kind of really big and clunky. So one night when she fell asleep with these braces on, she relaxed, and when her arm relaxed, it slipped and knocked me in my head, woke me up, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I look, I'm like, okay. So I moved her arm back, towards her, and then relax. And then I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, we gotta do something about this. So I think I woke her up. I was like, look, you hit me. So she turned over. So this kind of happened on and off. So for a week or two goes by, and I decide, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna find her some different braces. So I look online, I find some braces that are smaller, softer, not so big and clunky, and I get them for her. She tries them on. She's like, oh yeah, you know what? These feel pretty good, and she wears them. But then after a couple days, she says that she can't really wear them because they're rubbing in between the fingers, and it's just really hurting her hand. So I was like, okay. Unfortunately, that didn't work. So then a couple weeks go by. We go to the store. We find these other braces. This time, I take it out of the box. I have her try it. She tries it. She's like, yeah, okay, this feels pretty good. Cool. All right, let's get these. For the most part, they seem to be working. We go to bed. She tries them on. They don't help. She goes right back to the big old clunky wrist braces. And sure enough, again. And I wake up and I'm like, we're getting separate beds. So I just want to give that as an example, as a moment in time. My wife and I have been married for almost 30 years. And I didn't tell you the whole 30 years. I just picked a moment in time. Just a slice of that memory. And in that story, I told you about people, places, and things. My wife and myself are people. Place was in bed at night sleeping, and at the store purchasing or online. And things was the wrist braces. So when you start to think about telling your story, Start with small moments in time, events, special occasions, maybe a birthday, something that was different about your everyday life. Was there a certain occasion? Did something different happen at one of your birthday parties, or an engagement party, or at a park? Maybe you just went to a park with the kids or something, but something different happened. So I want you to think about that when you start to think about your story and how to develop your story. So just begin with one moment in time. My name is Bill, and thanks for watching.